Just look. I'm just going to put it out there. Isiah Rodgers is making a statement, and what he said on social media the other day is already telling me that the Eagles have big plans with him come this offseason program into the regular season as well. And the Eagles signed John Ross to a contract, obviously, to go into training camp with the Eagles, and how they look at him at what position and what they really look at him as a player, not having played in a while. And I want to go over a potential trade rumor from Bleacher Report and Josh Allen from the Washington Commanders. So let's get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Hope everyone is enjoying their work week this week, and a lot to talk about regarding the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, we had media. Media was available for the second day of OTAs for the Philadelphia Eagles, which was great. So get to see what these guys are doing on the field. And, you know, when we talk about the secondary, obviously, of what the Eagles did in this offseason, really, and especially the draft as well, to really upgrade our future at that position, which we haven't drafted two DBs in the first two picks in years. But Isiah Rodgers is one of those players that we need to talk about here, okay? Isiah Rodgers on social media is he's very vocal about the things that he wants to prove, okay? There was already a lot of fans, a lot of people are thinking because he took a year off last year that he wasn't going to be in the mix to even start. I mean, realistically, the Eagles have a starting cornerback right now, right in front of our eyes, because when they picked him up, before last year, when the Eagles picked him up as a depth piece because of the gambling situation, he was suspended for the whole year. They didn't just pick him up because he was a depth piece at corner. They picked him up because they had big plans for him, okay? Even Jeffrey Lurie at the Florida meeting, at the GM owners meetings, brunch, whatever it is, even Jeffrey Lurie talked about, was asked a question about Isiah Rodgers, that they have big plans for him. And let me tell you something. He already took over. Bradbury didn't even play, or at least didn't practice in OTAs on the second day. Isiah Rodgers was right there starting over Quinyon Mitchell at this point. And yes, it's very early in the process. We're not hitting. We're not in full pads. I get it. But just to throw him there is a really good sign that there could be some substantial trust in him. And this is a tough decision, guys, because as much as like Isiah Rodgers is going to be good, I just feel as if they really can't waste him. They can't have him on the bench as a depth piece. Like, I would really like them to move him into the inside, but unfortunately from the second day of OTAs, because the media was there and we find out what happens, he didn't play in the nickel. It was really Avonte Maddox, and it was Cooper DeJean. Sorry, I am still sick. So he wasn't even moved there at all, period. So he goes on social media the other day and was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. You know what I mean? I can't accept the fact that he's going to be a practice squad guy. You legit have a legit starting cornerback right now. Wait till we get into joint practices. Wait till we practice with each other and obviously see some of these guys go against Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and see these corners get put to the test. That's where we're really going to see things. We get into joint practices. We get into the preseason games. So we have so many bodies at this position. Even last year, we kind of thought we were loaded at corner, but obviously losing two of your star nickel corners, or at least two of your nickel corners, with Avonte Maddox, Zach McPherson with an Achilles injury, you didn't have a lot of outside corners that could play on the inside. And I feel like the Eagles did fill that void a little bit this offseason, getting Tyler Hall and getting Isiah Rodgers that can move into the inside, and obviously signing Avonte Maddox late, to really say, hey, we're not giving you the job, but you're going to have to climb up and go get it yourself. And obviously Cooper DeJean is on the inside now, and potentially they could be moving him to safety. So there's just way too many corners, and I'm not complaining about it. The more bodies we have, the better it's going to be. I'm hoping Isiah Rodgers is not going to be a cut, or the Eagles cut him, or I can't imagine that at this point. But I really like Isiah Rodgers, his attitude, and even when we were playing last year, and after during our downfall, the last 6-7 games, I mean, Isiah Rodgers was tweeting all year. he was wearing Eagles, equipment, and he was practicing his ass off. And it looks like the Eagles have enough trust in him to say, hey, I mean, not even to put your first round pick and Quinyon Mitchell at outside corner and you put Isiah Rodgers in that spot is a little interesting and a little intriguing on why. And obviously Isiah Rodgers has played, he's been in the league for a few years, so he's played before and he has more experience than Quinyon right now. So so Isiah Rodgers is automatically ahead of the game when it comes to, NFL experience when you really think about it. So I think we should all be very grateful that we have Isiah Rodgers and we have Quinyon and DeJean and Keely Ringo and Eli Ricks. I mean, it's never ending. I mean, it's the list goes on and on. We're going to see by post June 1st what happens if Bradbury is going to be moved, because I feel like you're restricting your youth movement with Bradbury staying here for one more year. And if Bradbury is not, if the Eagles have a plan to get rid of him after this year, why even have him for this year? Put these guys to the test. This offseason program is here for that reason. You have an offseason program to get these guys work. And obviously in the preseason games as well, give these guys a ton of reps. Give Quinyon Mitchell a ton of reps, first round pick or not. And that's the biggest problem we had last offseason. We felt like they just didn't. Not only we didn't, by the beginning of the season, we didn't know we had a big coaching problem like we did later on in the season, but we seen that the players didn't seem to gel well. A lot of the starters didn't have a lot of opportunity and a lot of opportunity to play in a lot of snaps in preseason. These guys have got to get reps. You don't want injury. I get it. I understand it. But you have to play these guys. And this secondary, I mean, if Fangio does this the right way, I'm telling you, the future is bright with this secondary, and you got some good things heading towards our way. So Isiah Rodgers making a statement, and I have to respect that, and he's put into a spot right there at outside corner immediately. It shows a lot, and I just can't wait until we actually start hitting full pads and how this thing is going to go. It's going to be so exciting to watch. It's going to be one of the most exciting offseason programs we've ever had in a long time, because our defense needs to be fully upgraded. And when you have this many guys in the secondary, a lot of bodies like this that either have had, like Keely Ringo and Eli Ricks, have had a lot of starring experience even last year as rookies, that's a good thing. It gets them prepared for the next season, see how much better they can get. And obviously with Bradbury gone after this year, if he's not gone before, and Slay's last year in Philadelphia is probably this year, this is the perfect moment to see what you have. God forbid Slay's got to be out a couple games. God forbid Bradbury gets hurt if he's playing this season and starts this season. Somebody has to jump right in. You know what I mean? So obviously Quinyon Mitchell is there, and you're expecting him to. I want the man to start. I want Bradbury out the door, and want the young bull to go out there and get what he needs. Okay, is being the top player I know he is. But I thought this was really interesting, and I love the attitude. I noticed with this team, this defense, a lot of swagger. That swagness is coming back, like very slowly. Like we're getting that pushback attitude back in Philadelphia, which we didn't have. We looked so defeated last year and just didn't want to face adversity last year. And when we did, we failed at it. No sense of urgency. So it was just a whole lot to go through, but this got me really, really pumped, really excited, and very happy for it. So I'm pretty pumped. Now, obviously with the roster move of Devontae Parker retiring, on the retired list, is gone from the Philadelphia Eagles. We had a roster spot open, so figuring they were going to get a tryout player back, or they were going to go trade for somebody, maybe a wide receiver, maybe for a different position. So it looks like they did add to the wide receiver position. It looks like John Ross is back and signed with the Philadelphia Eagles on a 1-year deal. Now, this does not promise that he's going to be here, for the whole season, that he's going to make it through training camp, because at the end of the day, he could be a practice squad player, or he might just be like, hey, if I don't make the team, I'm not playing football at all this year. Who knows? He's trying to make a comeback into the NFL. He's already stated that. He was with the Giants. Last time he was with the Giants, and then before that he wasn't with, I think, a team, 21 with the Chiefs, I think. I think he was hurt all year for the Giants. I don't think he even played a snap for the Giants at that point. John Ross, how do they look at him right now? Are they using him as a gadget type wide receiver with his speed? Are they using him as more special teams? Do they want to use him as like competition as for the wide receiver 3 with Anaya Smith and Johnny Wilson and, Paris Campbell and some of these other guys? I mean, how are they looking at him? Now, the problem I have right now is I need to see like how he runs, how he looks, how quick he is, because it's been years. I don't know. Obviously he hasn't. So nobody should be excited about this. But could he contribute in some way as a gadget type receiver? Or if they look at him as a special teamer, maybe. But I think for us as fans, we really need to see how his speed is right now. He's 28 years old now. Okay. He was the ninth overall pick in 2017 with clocking at a 4.22, whatever it was. I know Xavier, what's his name from the draft this year, beat his 40 time. But he was a momentum type player, a receiver that got taken top 10 and just, was just hurt too much and just never really panned out. So 28 years old now. So he's in his prime. He's up there in age, but he hasn't played in a while. And I don't know what the Eagles see in him. And trust me, if he did that well at his rookie camp as a tryout, he would have been signed. So because Devontae Parker is gone, they decided to sign John Ross. So I wouldn't be floored about it or be like, oh my God. No, I need to see more. I need to see footage of him on special teams or how he looks. Does he still have his speed? Does he not? Is he half and half? I don't know, because we need to see more. Like I said, we've only been reported a second day of OTAs. Until we get to see these practices and see how he is and what he looks like against, when joint practice come when the Patriots come to Novacare and we practice with them, or we're going there. I don't know what's going on. It's going to be really interesting. So, so I'm excited to see how they're going to use him and where they're trying to put him. If it's not as a competition for wide receiver 3, maybe it's for something else. But we'll see. And he did change his number to number 83, by the way. That was tight end Noah Togiai, his number. So he changed his number. And lastly, I want to go over some trade rumors from Bleacher Report. Now, this isn't really for this year. This is really for after this year. So like take this with a grain of salt. Now, it says that Bleacher Report listed Commanders defensive line Jonathan Allen as a trade target that the Eagles should try to pursue before next season starts. Allen has 2 years remaining on his 4-year, $72 million contract. So, like I said, I don't think this is, because it's going to cost a lot. It probably costs a good amount to trade for him. Depending on what happens with Jordan Davis after this year, Fletcher Cox is gone. See how Milton Williams does on a contract year. And, Jonathan Allen becomes a free agent in 2 years, after 2 years. So if you look at his numbers, or at least like what his contract looks like. So in 2024, gets paid $14 million base salary. His cap number is $21.4 million this year. So that's a big cap number. And then 25, his cap number is $23 million, making $15.5 million. So if the Eagles, let's say they trade for him before the 25 season with $23 million against the cap, they obviously can just acquire him, trade for him from the Commanders, and then extend him if that's what they want to do. Now, this is, like I said, I don't think this is a this year type thing. I think because you want to wait till next year, the Eagles will acquire more picks for the draft. We'll acquire more picks, all that great stuff. And then, then maybe you go after a move like this. With the amount of picks we have right now, 9 picks for next year, which is pretty good. I don't think this is a trade deadline by week 9 type trade or an end of the year type thing. This is more of a next offseason type thing. So maybe this is true rumors that maybe he is on the list for the Philadelphia Eagles as a trade target. But like I said, this is more of a futuristic type thing than in the moment type thing. So I wouldn't go crazy about it, but it's definitely something, definitely something to watch out for, because if Jordan Davis doesn't have a good year this year, which I'll be really shocked if he doesn't. If he doesn't have a good year, he's going to be out of his 3rd year into his last year, and the Eagles probably won't resign him. And then obviously, or he'll be very cheap to sign. And then Milton Williams is on a contract year. So potentially you're losing 2 defensive tackles on top of Josh Sweat on the edge, on top of Brandon Graham retiring. I mean, you're going to be losing a lot of defensive linemen next year if you don't resign Jordan Davis. If for Jordan Davis is going to be gone in a couple of years, and a few of these guys are going to be gone, you're losing a good amount of offensive linemen in the next couple of years. So I don't know if this would be anything crazy. I think obviously just go back into the draft and go draft somebody. But this is just something to kind of just pull a leg at. Nothing crazy. Don't really, celebrate too much with that type of news coming in. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We talked about John Ross. We talked about Isiah Rodgers and his statement made. Cornerback is going to be one of the most exciting positions. I mean, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get nuts for a lot of reasons. So I'm pretty excited about that. Make sure you like the video. Does help the channel a lot. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day, as usual. And if you guys haven't checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, check it out. We're going to have more merch really soon and a big release before the season starts. So there's a lot of things cooking right now. If you guys haven't checked out the Howie Roseman, Big Pimpin' Howie Roseman shirt, pick it up. If you guys have not, we have the Cooper DeJean Flying Frenchman t-shirt. We have the Axeman 2 merch that's here. If you want to pick up a Philly Shakedown podcast shirt, definitely pick one up. We are going to have some other types of clothing coming out too that I think you guys are going to be really excited for. So, link in the description for all that great stuff, and thank you for all the support. You guys have a fantastic day, and man, can training camp get here? It's got to get here as fast as possible, please. All right? You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake, sweat, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.